Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. The other day, I was scrolling on TikTok, as you do, and then I got two TikToks in a row that were women just like saying things about men, in particular, husbands, just being absolutely useless and weaponizing their incompetence. So because of that, I took it as a sign from the universe that it was time to do another video about weaponized incompetence, because these two videos, I need to talk about them. We need to have a conversation because I just need to have a rant sometimes, you know, and that's what this is for. And then I went through and I found some more to add on and to talk about as well, because sometimes we need to come together and we need to just have a conversation about standards and how women are treated in relationships by men and how that is just accepted and joked about and laughed off. And it's not okay. So we're going to talk about it. Now, if you don't know what weaponized incompetence is, basically, it's just when people act like they don't know how to do things. They do it wrong on purpose. They make it difficult because they want you to never ask them to do it again. It's manipulative. And it can be from anyone in any sort of situation. Like, you can do it to your friends, you can do it to family. It can be wives doing it to husbands or whatever. But a lot of the time when it's posted about on TikTok and talked about on TikTok, it is specifically husbands doing it to their wives, or, you know, men doing it to their partners, because it's just such a normalized sort of thing that exists. And so we talk about it a lot in this way, and that is all the ones that I was able to find. So that's what it's going to be again today. Before we do get into it though, I would like to say a massive thank you to today's patron of the day, Ash. I appreciate you and your support greatly, so thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. It starts at as little as £1 a month, and I appreciate it greatly. Let's get into the TikToks, shall we? This is the first one I came across.
If you ever wonder if men need women, they do. Because Anthony told me to send him a grocery list. Send me a grocery list. Okay. He said, I'll go get the groceries. Let me show you the grocery list I sent him. Do you notice anything? I'm a teacher. Bold, italicized, where it's located. Front wall and produce, aisle 6, back edge of the deli. These are the things I know he's not familiar with. I say you can get whatever flavor. You can get any flavor but watermelon. Do whatever. I even put what they're being used for. This is the cheese. This is the charcuterie meat. So I thought I was being thorough.
Why are you doing all this? Like, you should not have to do all this. The time and effort it would take to write this up is ridiculous. Like, the fact that you feel the need to do this just for your husband to be able to go to the grocery shop is unreal. Like, it was your first time going to the grocery shop at some point too. You had to find everything by yourself. For me personally, part of the experience of going grocery shopping is walking around in circles and not being able to find anything. I have a terrible memory. I forget where things are kept all the time. Sometimes they're in a different place. A lot of the time I'll be in one section and then go somewhere else and then remember that I forgot something over there. And I spend so long in the grocery shops walking around in circles because I'm forgetful and I get lost. I've been going to the same supermarket for over 2 years now, and I still get confused. And I wouldn't be able to tell you the name of the aisles. I'm just like, this is where the international food is. That's where they keep the cans of things. And I know where they keep the vegan stuff. And other than that, like, part of the experience is literally just walking up and down every aisle and like scanning and trying to find it and being like, where is this? I thought it would be here. The other day I got confused because why is sugar kept with the tea instead of with the baking stuff? Like, that's stupid. And I've bought sugar before. I just forgot. But you know what? I was able to find it because I have eyes and the ability to walk up and down aisles and figure it out.
He called me 6 times to ask me where things were. He called me 6 times. 5 times he called me to ask where things were. Honestly, I gotta be honest. The 6th time he called me to tell me he's never doing this again.
Calling you to be like, babe, I can't find this. Where is this located? Firstly, refer to your list that she shouldn't have had to write for you. Secondly, use your eyes. This is an able-bodied adult man. Use your eyes and your legs and just look. It might take a little bit longer, but like, get over it. Walk down, and I don't know how grocery shops work in the States, but every grocery shop I've ever been to has the like signs above each aisle that sort of lists out what's going to be on them. So like if you're looking for rice, go to the aisle that like says pulses and grains. If you're looking for like canned fruit, go to the aisle that says canned fruit. Like, just read. Or if you don't want to do that and you're looking for a bunch of different things, walk down the aisle and use your eyes and just look. Figure it out. Or ask someone who works there. It's not difficult. This is not your wife's problem. Be an adult.
Today, that was 2 weeks ago. Today, he didn't call me. He's out there. He just said, I'm on the porch. He's passing off groceries. Long story short, he said, they don't sell vegetables here, actually. I said, I'm on my way. I'm coming. He said, why are you coming? I said, I'm going to show you where the vegetables are. And then guess what? He found them. How was it?
It was fun.
He knows what he's supposed to do. He knows how to do it. He is a big boy and he is fully capable of going grocery shopping. He just doesn't want to. He wants to do a shit job. He wants to be a pain in the ass. He wants you to spend so much time correcting him so that you go, fine, all right, you don't have to do it again. I'll go because you're being fucking annoying and I may as well have done it myself. He's doing it on purpose because he doesn't want to do it. He wants to complain and he wants to make your life difficult so that you think it'll be easier to just do it yourself and then he never has to do it again. That's what he's doing. He absolutely knows how to do it. And my advice for everyone in this situation is, firstly, just tell him to get over it. Make him go grocery shopping every time. The first things first. But also, like, this is not the type of person you want to be with. You know what I mean? Like, if he's manipulating you in this way and expects you to do everything and to go above and beyond where you really do not have to, like, raise your standards. Because this is, like, not okay. It's manipulative, it's shitty, and, like, he's being a child. He is being purposefully childish. He is weaponizing his incompetence. Because he's not actually incompetent. He just wants you to think that he is. Not okay. Red flags. Raise your standards. You deserve better. I promise. There are men out there who are capable of going grocery shopping and being an adult. The next one I found is 5 minutes long, so I'm gonna cut it a little bit. We're gonna break it up as it goes, but parts of it I'm gonna cut because 5 minutes is a very long TikTok, so let's have a look-see.
Not that I've had great luck in romantic relationships, but oh my god, I think sometimes about my friend who divorced her husband, or told him that she was going to divorce him the same day as his mom's birthday, because she was the one who cleaned the house, spent all day cooking a really fancy meal because it was like a milestone birthday. The only thing she asked him to do, she texted him a couple times to pick up flowers. She told him like a week out, and then told him the day before, and then reminded him day of, please pick up flowers on your way home. He shows up at the door, walks in, no flowers. And he's like, I didn't get them. And she goes, okay, you need to turn around, keep your shoes on, turn around, go back out, pick up some flowers. They live down the street from a grocery store. He pitches a fit. He's like, I just got off work. Do you have any idea what kind of day I've had? It's been long. It's been hard. And she's like, cool, I don't care. Go get the flowers, the only thing I asked you to do, and then you can come back, kick your shoes off, and relax.
Like, bro? She has spent all day cooking and cleaning and preparing for your mother's birthday. Your mother's birthday. She has spent all day working her ass off for that. All you had to do was stop at a grocery shop and pick up some flowers. That takes literally 2 minutes. I've been working all day. So has she. So has she. So, like, just because you don't value her work, you seem to really require it, because considering you can't even pick up flowers, let alone cook a meal for your own mother, she's clearly doing some hard work here. And literally, it's a 2-minute detour. It's such an easy job. Stop complaining.
So he's stomping off. He comes back with 2 bags of all-purpose flour. Now, she had texted him FLOWERS, so he knew. It's not like this was some attempt at doing weaponized incompetence, right? It's not like he was like, oh, I didn't know you meant flowers. I thought you meant flour. You know what I mean? He's not even doing that. She took the flowers, the bags of all-purpose flour, and they're like the big ones, put them dead center on the table, and just left them there. And he's like, what are you doing? And she said, well, you know, we need a centerpiece, and these are flowers, so it'll have to do.
That's actually so iconic. That's so iconic of her. That is the only way to respond to this, actually. It's like, okay, you want to be an ass? Fine. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Your mother can come over with 2 bags of flour in the center of the table. Let's see how that goes over. You did this to yourself. So fair. So real. Iconic. You go, girl.
So because she's not taking the bait, he's pissed. He's so grouchy. So then, of course, his mother shows up and he's putting on a show, acting like he had anything to do with all the good scents coming from the kitchen. So then mother-in-law walks in and is like, what's this about? Why are there 2 sacks of flour on the dining table? So my friend just looks her dead in the eye and she goes, well, I told your son to please pick up some flour. Her mother-in-law looks at her son and goes, you did what? Because that's the kind of shit that his dad used to do to her, which is why they weren't married anymore. So, like, apples, trees, you know.
Big yikes there. I mean, yeah, apples, trees. I suppose, you know, he did learn it from somewhere. But, like, watching your parents' marriage fall apart and watching them divorce because of this exact treatment and then repeating that and doing the same and expecting a different result. Bro, you've already seen what happens when you do this. It might make your life easier right now, but you're gonna end up having to do all this shit for yourself in a minute. Like, it's overall much better to be a cycle breaker than a cycle continuer, because, like, the cycle repeats, you're gonna be left on your ass and either have to do all of this stuff for yourself or, like, move back in with your mother, who now knows the reason you've been divorced and is also going to make you do all of that stuff for yourself. So, like, do you want to have to cook and clean and get the, like, you got to do everything. Right now, you've got a good thing going where your wife literally takes care of you. She cooks, she cleans, and she, like, makes you a drink after work every day. All you have to do is get flowers, and instead you choose to be an asshole, which ultimately, you're really fucking shit up here, aren't you?
My friend's still playing it cool. She's like, yeah, you know, he does this sort of thing all the time. As soon as the door closes from mother-in-law leaving, she turns to him and says, I want a divorce. You can sleep in the guest room. And what's funny is she waited until he was asleep in the guest room and she left and got a hotel. She checked into like a 4-star hotel on his credit card.
Absolutely iconic. Once again, like, good for her. That is such a valid line to draw. Like, that is such a valid last straw. And, like, pushing it further to making him sleep in the guest room and then paying for a hotel on his credit card, like, top tier. I'm so proud of you, because obviously this shit had been going on for a long time. Like, this doesn't just happen once and you get a divorce. This is like the straw that broke the camel's back. And, like, I'm so proud of her for the way that she handled this. Like, that's so cool, because, yeah, fuck this, man. Like, so many women tolerate this kind of behavior and, like, put up with it for far too long, because it's like, it's such a normalized thing. It's something that is, like, joked about, it is talked about. It's like, oh, husbands, they're so useless. It's like me and my 4 kids, the 3, and then my husband is my 4th child. Like, you know, that sort of shit. And they're just deliberately just assholes to make your life harder. She said in this, like, it's not weaponized incompetence because he did it on purpose. But, like, I still think that it is. Like, he's not pretending to be incompetent, but he kind of is at the same time. You know what I mean? It's, like, more blatantly on the nose. He is just being an asshole, but he's pretending to be incompetent for the same reason. He's just being more blatant about it. Good Lord, the amount of men that are like this make me so infuriated. It's insufferable. Oh my God. I'm very glad she got out, and she's remarried to a man that buys her actual flowers with the W. When you've been sick for 2 days and forgot your husband and kids don't know how to clean up after themselves.
I love to clean. Oh, you helping mommy?
I just mopped there.
What, Daddy?
So basically, this woman has been sick for 2 days, so has, you know, been resting and looking after herself. And then she comes out and everything is a mess. The kitchen is a mess. There's dishes everywhere. The floor is dirty. Like, water jug hasn't been refilled. It's a mess. She has to do all the dishes. She has to sweep. She has to mop. She has to refill things. She has to clean everything. Her husband comes in and just goes, ha, lol. And then she kisses him. Which, girl, I don't know why we're acting so chill here. I would be so pissed. And then she finally finishes and walks into the lounge, and that is also a mess. Clothes everywhere, toys everywhere, the surfaces are all covered. And oh my god. And again, she just plays it like this is a normal thing. Like this is meant to be like a funny, like, lol, husbands, am I right? Life of being a mother. This is just what it means to be a mom. Like, no, no, this is not okay. It is not that difficult to clean up after yourself as you go. Like, I understand keeping on top of cleaning can be tricky. I struggle to keep clean sometimes because, you know, I'm busy. I've got a lot of shit in my head and it can be tricky, but I'm like looking after myself, you know what I mean? I feel like as soon as there are other people involved, I feel like, you know, if you have kids involved, you kind of have to be a bit more vigilant. Like, I understand that it's difficult and I understand that doing all of this is really tricky, like cooking and cleaning and looking after kids, but like she does that by herself every day. So, you know, I think that you're able to do it for 2 days, or at the very least do the dishes. At the very least put their toys back in the toy box. Put their clothes back in their drawers. Like, a lot of it, just at the very least, do the surface level jobs. If you normally split tasks 50-50, then do like 75%. Don't just leave it an absolute mess. Do the easy jobs if you really cannot dedicate more time, because usually you split, like one of us looks after the kids, one of us does the tidying or whatever. I don't know the arrangement you have. However, you do have to do a bit more when you are by yourself, because she should be able to rely on you to, like, you know, allow her to rest and recover. Because when you're sick, or if she has to go away somewhere, or she wants to go away somewhere, she shouldn't spend that entire time stressing about the fact she is going to come back to a nightmare. She should be able to rest. And part of your job as someone who like loves and cares about her and your kids is like making sure the house is like, you know, enjoyable to exist in. It should not be stressful to be sick. Raise your standards. You should not be stressed when you are sick. You should not have to come back from recovering from being sick to a house that needs to be fully cleaned because it's a mess. You know, if your partner punishes you for being sick, because that's what this is, then you deserve better. Raise your standards, truly. When you're sleeping but he wants something from you, and she's lying on the couch sleeping, and it's an angle of like the top half of her body, and she's being like rocked. And she wakes up like, what's going on? And it shows her husband is like poking her with a pan with a can of soup in it. Now, there are so many things wrong with this. Like, so many things wrong with this. Because what this initially implies, and the joke that it is meant to be, is so fucked up. And people are all laughing about this in the comments. And they're obviously posting this as a joke. Because what it looks like, obviously they're showing just the top half of her body, and she's just rocking back and forth. And like, I'm sorry. That's disgusting. That's disgusting, because doing that to your wife, that's assault. Like, you can't fucking do that. And it's disgusting to joke about that. It's so horrific to joke about that. And to normalize that as well. Like, just laughing about the fact of like, oh yeah, sometimes, you know, my husband has needs, and when I'm asleep and he wants that, he's just gonna do it, you know? He wants it from me. He doesn't want to wake me. He's just gonna do it. Like, no, not funny. Not okay to talk about like that's a normal thing. Absolutely not a good joke. Nothing about that is funny. That's a crime and traumatizing and just a horrific thing to do. Do not make those jokes. Nothing about it is funny. Nothing about it is okay. We should not be laughing about it. We should not be talking about it as anything other than the horrific and vile crime and violation of your body that is. Not a normal thing for men to do. Not an okay thing for men to do. Not a funny thing for men to do. None of those. None of it. I don't want to see any of it. That's disgusting. And if we're gonna then talk about the end of the TikTok, the end of the video having, you know, the laughing line being like, haha, no, it's not what you think, you silly. Get your head out of the gutter. He's just asking me to make him soup because he's a useless man-child who doesn't know how to open a can and heat it up on the stove. Nothing about this is funny because that's also so sad. It's so sad. It's not... It's not funny being like, my husband doesn't know how to heat up a can of soup. He has to wake me up when I'm resting to get me to do the most basic shit because he can't look after himself. Like, just raise your standards. Throw the whole man away for both of these things, especially the first, but also the last. If my partner woke me up to make him a can of soup, yeah, firstly, I'm kicking him out. No, we're not married anymore. But also, like, if you're not gonna do that, he's cooking every meal from now on. I'm cooking only for myself. He can cook for himself. I'm not tolerating that. This person's partner loaded the dishwasher and the bowls are all stacked on top of each other, sitting upright. Like, the bowls and plates are upright, stacked on top of each other. And then all of the knives and forks and cutlery and stuff are like thrown on the top shelf together. And this boils my blood a little bit, you know? Like, this is unreal. It is such an easy task. Loading the dishwasher is objectively one of the easiest tasks you can do. Unloading the dishwasher is annoyingly difficult, in my brain anyway, but that's beside the point. Loading the dishwasher is one of the easiest tasks to do. And I know you have seen a dishwasher be loaded before. I know you know how to load a dishwasher. Deliberately loading it like this, oh, divorce, immediate divorce, throw him out, kick him out on his fucking ass. Holy shit, that's so messed up, because like, it takes pretty much, I would say, the exact same amount of time to do it like this as it does to do it properly. So it's not even choosing to do it the easy way, it's deliberately being like, how dare you tell me to do this task? How dare you tell me to do a task? I don't know about you, but me personally, I like to help out the people that I love and care about. I like to take a weight off their shoulders. If I can do an easy task that is going to make their life easier, I'm going to do that task. You honestly shouldn't even have to be asked to load the dishwasher. You should just do it because, you know, your partner is doing other things. Like, just do it as a nice task. Not even as a nice gesture. Just do it as a gesture as a person who like lives in the house or is at the house for dinner or whatever, you know? Like, it's so easy. It's so easy. And like, punishing your partner for asking you to do something so basic and to just like looking after yourself and being, you know, a decent person and a helpful partner, the worst kind of person. I've just finished filming and have seen that my audio cut out at some point. That happens now. So please excuse the terrible audio for the rest of the video. I apologize. Girl, you deserve so much better. I don't even know you like that, but like, you deserve so much better. This is not okay. Like, the constant push of you serve me or I'll punish you is disgusting. It's abusive. That's what it is. And it's constantly like not acknowledged as abuse, but it's complete just manipulation and just, yeah, it's effectively just being like, you serve me. And if you refuse to do, if you don't do everything I want you to, if you make me contribute even a little bit, I will punish you. That's not okay. Nothing about that is okay. If you are noticing this sort of pattern in your relationship, I sincerely hope you get the fuck out because you deserve better. You need to raise your standards. I promise you there is someone better out there. Someone who will load the dishwasher, someone who will help with tasks, someone who will clean when you're sick and help you clean even when you aren't sick. Because, you know, that's what a good partner does.
POV, you leave your husband alone with the kids for a few hours and he sends you this.
And the video is just of his baby and his toddler crying and him mocking them by crying back with the caption, "Who the fuck let me have kids?" Laughing face, skull. Again, we're playing this off as though it's like really funny, but it just is lacking so much emotional maturity. I just find it so interesting that we do play this off as something that is joke worthy and funny. And it's like, lol, leave dad alone with the kids and they're all crying. Haha, dads can't be trusted to look after their own children. And I understand sometimes small kids cry. I understand that. But I don't think the correct response to your kids crying ever is to, you know, cry back at them and sort of mock them for that, especially if you've been left alone and you're like, lol, look what happens when you leave me alone with the kids, they cry. Even if you're joking, it's just not very funny, and it does have, you know, manipulative energy exists within that of like, if you leave me alone with the kids, They're gonna be crying. Don't do it again, because you know, this is the result of it. And I just don't think it's very funny. I think that your partner should be able to trust you with the kids. And you know, like, we can talk about this as like being a joke and it's not that serious, but she wouldn't send that back. You know what I mean? Like, if she's being left alone with the kids, she's not doing that. She's not sending that. It's the fact that we sort of treat it differently, and the idea of like dads being bad fathers and not being able to be left with their kids, it's like, it's not a very funny thing to continue to like perpetuate and to normalize and to laugh about, because dads should be able to look after their kids, and we shouldn't be mocking them for their emotions and crying. We shouldn't be like guilt tripping mothers for leaving us alone with our kids. Like, says, my husband expects me to clean up after giving birth.
I've just given birth and you expect me to stand up and clean up for hours on end?
When we first got together, you told me that you enjoyed cleaning and loved all that sort of stuff.
What have you done today?
Usually I'm at work, aren't I, and I'm doing things. And...
You've done nothing.
Yes, but you're better at it, aren't you?
I've been looking after the baby all day. She's been crying all day.
She hasn't been
Just
crying.
managed to
That's
put her to sleep.
bollocks.
Just managed to put her to sleep to have my first meal of the day.
You're sitting on your arse as well, so you're like, it's not just me. All I'm asking is for you to take a few mugs out, a bit of hoovering, a bit of cleaning, you know, TV's looking a bit dusty, lights probably need a little dust around as well. I'm going to the pub in a minute. When I'm back from the pub, we'll reevaluate, see what he's doing. I'll make you a list together, okay? So I'm giving
And you can do it. Not a chance.
Pub, you can chill out as well, then when I come back, we'll sort out what you need to clean.
Not a chance.
Bro, if your wife has just given birth, she's not sitting on her ass, she's recovering from a major procedure. Like, she's just done a lot of damage to her body, and she needs to recover. I think if your wife has just given birth, you should be doing all of the tasks, actually, the cooking and cleaning and whatever else needs to be done. You should be doing that at the very end of her pregnancy, and you should definitely be doing it after she's given birth as well, because her body is like gone through a lot of trauma and she needs to be sitting and resting and recovering, and just being like, I'll come back and we'll make a list of what you need to do. I'm gonna wring your neck is what I'm gonna do. That's number one on the list of tasks that need to be done. Also, like, having a 2-day-old child and being like, I'm gonna go out to the pub with my friends while you sit here and think about cleaning. Like, why are you leaving? Like, I don't understand the desire to go to the pub when you have a 2-day-old infant. Like, that's baffling to me. Like, I don't really understand that. I suppose I've never been in this position, but me personally, I can imagine if I had a 2-day-old child, like if my partner had just given birth, I'd want to stay and look after my partner and spend time with my new baby. Like, me personally, that's sort of what I would like to be doing, and I can't wrap my head around the fact that people would rather be going to the pub and demanding their wife clean instead of spending time helping out and being a family. Like, if this is the attitude of your partner after you have just given birth, throw them away in the trash. You don't need them. You would actually be better off without them. Your life would be significantly easier and more peaceful if you just got rid of them. I feel like it's worth it being a single mom over putting up with this shit. Like, sure, yeah, you'd have to do all the cleaning yourself anyway that way, but at least you're only cleaning up after yourself, not after an asshole as well. You know? That's my 2 cents. If this is how your partner is acting, get rid of him. He can clean himself. And if he doesn't want to, like, being like, you're better at it, aren't you? I will help you hide the body. Basically, the takeaway from this video and from everything is that, ladies, please raise your standards. The bar is on the floor. It's below the floor. Like, we really need to lift it. It's way too easy for these men to get what they want. These men should be alone. You know? Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm here a few times a week, so if you want to see my face again, I will be here in a few days, so stick around for that. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons, whose names are up on the screen right now. I appreciate you greatly. And a huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons: Bobby, Ikazel, Ellie, Chris, Samuel, Knitting Menace, Radsack, Lady Nutbar, Mr. Noodle, Ella, River, and Phenomenally. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/tidycat, click the top link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos a day early, as well as podcasts a week early. And if £3 and up, you get things such as outtakes, outtakes, bonus mini podcasts, live streams, vlogs, and more. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.
When you close your eyes.